Mr. Math here. Thanks for watching my videos. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to click the bell icon to be notified of updates. Hello viewers, welcome back to Let's Play Oblivion Remastered. We are here in the Bruma Mages Guild. We have just completed the recommendation quest, which was absolutely ridiculous nonsense. It didn't really involve much in the way of magic. I did cast a spell to unlock the Guildmaster's desk, but I could have just used lockpicks for that. And I didn't have any real choices to make or anything like that. It's been a while since I've had a solid meal. So yeah, not much in the way of actual magic involved in the Mages Guild recommendation quest. Kind of odd, that. But whatever. We have finished it. And we have some stuff to do on the morrow. So we do have a side quest that may or may not involve vampires. And between episodes, at the end of last episode, I said that Geoffrey was going to look into that business. In between episodes, I spent some time thinking about it. And you know what? Yes. Would Geoffrey really do that? Yes, he would. Because he is a faithful servant of the 8 and the 1. And vampires are evil, unholy Daedra in human form, or maybe even something worse. Hey, Jaskar.
Go ahead, please.
You got anything to buy? No, you're a trainer. Well, what do you train in?
Knowledge is the key to success in any endeavor.
Destruction. Well, I'm already doing pretty good at that, so thank you, but no.
You too.
So, yes, I do believe that Geoffrey will actually investigate this. So why not get started on that now? We're in town. Okay. A brotherhood betrayed. I've heard that Arnora... No, that's not the one. I've discovered that Brandon Lyrian, a resident here in Bruma, was actually a vampire. He was slain by a vampire hunter who has appeared in town named Raynil Draelis. However, the circumstances of this incident sound sketchy at best. I should make my way to the crime scene at Braden's house to investigate. So Braden's house is over here, as I recall. Am I going to have to break in? That would be kind of inconvenient with all the guards walking around. But the answer is no. Okay.
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves or Raynil Draelis will be allowed access.
Tell me about Raynil Draelis.
The culprit in this crime has already been dealt with. It's just a matter of wrapping up the details. I'd tell you more, but frankly, I don't know who you are, so I'm not sure that I can trust you with that sort of information.
I wonder, can I persuade him?
Yes?
So he doesn't like these two, does like these two.
No, you do me. What a great story. You should be That's just talk. Remarkable. Not funny. Not even a little bit. Oh, really now? You're such a charmer. No, you do me too much honor.
Blast.
What a great story. You should be Is that so?
That one didn't work out so well.
No, you... Well done. Is that so?
That one worked out quite well.
Please, What a great... Ugh, you're wasting your breath. Oh, please. Goodness, what remarkable. Not funny. Not even a little bit. Please, What a great... You should be ashamed. That's just talk. Really? Really? You should be ashamed. Oh, please.
Okay, that's as high as I can go.
You're good.
Is he more likely to trust me now?
I suppose there's no harm in telling you what happened. Word is bound to get around Bruma anyway. Turns out that Braden Lyrian is a vampire. Or was. If it wasn't for Reynold Draelus, we may have never uncovered the truth. Let me explain. In the last week or so, we found 2 bodies stashed in shallow graves outside the city walls. The bodies had puncture wounds on their necks. The bodies were those of some beggars who used to wander the streets looking for handouts. Vampire probably thought no one would miss them. Luckily for us, Reynold arrived in town. He said he was a vampire hunter, so we asked for his help. He tracked the vampire to this house. When he entered the place around noon, Braden was sleeping. He was able to slay him at that point. Luckily, Braden's wife wasn't home. Poor thing. She didn't even know her husband was infected. We did a follow-up investigation, and it's true that no one recollects seeing Braden out in the daylight. He's only been spotted at night. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell you. So you can see we really don't need any help. But thanks for the offer.
Can you tell me more about Braden?
As far as I know, he was a good man. I never saw this coming. But vampires are masters of deception, so I guess it makes sense.
Where might I find Reynold Draelus?
I'm impressed. It only took him a day to track the vampire down. I guess that's why he does it for a living. Feel free to question anyone in town. They shouldn't give you too much trouble.
Is that his wife?
I can't believe this is happening. Please, please, I need your help. My husband was no vampire. It's ridiculous. No one will listen to me.
Well, just calm down, madam. I do want to help.
Forgive me. I loved my husband dearly, and to lose him this way makes no sense. Anything you can do to help would be wonderful. This is all happening so fast.
Well, please tell me what happened.
I came home only just a few hours ago. I found the door open, and my Braden dead. Standing over him was a Dunmer. I screamed and ran out into the street. Some city watch were nearby and heard me, I suppose, as they arrived quickly. I heard the Dunmer identify himself as Reynold Draelus. He said he was a vampire hunter and that Braden was his mark. The guards seemed to know about Reynold, and after a search of the house, the body of some beggar was found stashed in our basement. The guards sent for Carius, who is an investigator for crimes here in Bruma. In minutes, Reynold convinced Carius that Braden was a vampire.
Okay. Is this something Geoffrey's likely to say? I don't know. Geoffrey's not exactly an inside-the-box thinker, not because he's particularly, genius or anything, but simply because, he's rather neurodivergent. Okay, the evidence looks bad for Braden. Kind of looks bad for Raynal, too, if you ask me.
Well, of course it does. It was obviously planted here. Why would he stash a body in his own house? That's ridiculous. And another thing, the guards are making a big deal out of no one seeing Braden out in the daylight. Well, of course that's the case. He works at night and has to sleep during the day. Why does that make him a vampire? It's all that Raynal character. I don't trust him. The thing that bothers me the most is that I swear I've seen him before. Of course, he says he's never been here. There isn't much more to say. Please, help me clear my husband's name.
Can you tell me anything about Raynal Draelis that you haven't already mentioned?
I have no idea where he'd be. Just find him and make him tell you the truth. I swear he's a liar. I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
Oh, you're back.
Stashed in the basement? Well, one thing it could be, of course, would be that this so-called vampire hunter is the actual vampire.
Oh, you're back.
Hello.
All right, then. What next? Braden's wife, Erling, told me her husband is innocent. She says that he simply works at night and sleeps during the day. She also suspects that someone must have planted the body. She seemed to cast a suspicious light on Raynal, whom she says she recognizes. I think I should locate Raynal and ask him some questions as well. I should start with some of the merchants and innkeepers in town. It could go either way at this point. Her husband could honestly have been a vampire. And the whole working at night thing was just a cover so that even she wouldn't know.
State your business.
I'm looking for Raynal Draelis. Where might he be?
Yes, the vampire hunter. As far as I know, he just showed up recently here in Bruma. Not only that, but he already found a vampire among us. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures, and Raynal slew him. Kind of strange, though. I never figured Braden to be a vampire. He seemed to be such a likable fellow.
Okay, but where is he? Never mind.
What are you looking for?
I was told to look for him at the inns. Can you point me to an inn where I might find him?
The Gerald View is on the terraces, near the castle gate and facing the chapel. Olaf's is next to the east gate. Farewell.
Okay. A vampire hunter, or perhaps a vampire in disguise? Sounds like he'd want some high-class accommodations. So I'm looking for a Dunmer.
Welcome to Bruma, stranger. Hafid Hollowleg. I'm your host at Gerald View. Bed, food, whatever you need.
What I need, my good man, is Reynold Drelis. I wonder if you could tell me where he is?
Ah, you mean that vampire hunter. He's staying over at Olav's Tap and Tack. It's near the city gates. You can't miss it.
Excellent. Thank you for the information.
Good day.
Okay. I would have expected a high-class place, but maybe he's covering down? Near the east gate, huh?
Do you need something?
Is there a more gracious host in Bruma than Hafid Hollowleg?
It's hard to complain. The food is good and the service is excellent. Heard any news from the other provinces?
Okay. Let's see what we can learn. He's a Dunmer.
What can I do for you today?
Hello, my good man. I am looking for Mr. Reynold Drelis.
I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know.
Okay.
Say what you're going to say.
He doesn't like these two, does like these two. Okay.
You're a big fat liar. Was that so? Whatever you want. Not bad. Not bad at all. Was that supposed to be a compliment? Don't. Yeah, you're a big fat liar. Don't, please. Yeah, you're a big... I doubt you really mean that. I accept. Yeah, you're full of it. I doubt you really mean that. Yeah. Don't be... I accept. I have no choice. You're full of it. Don't, please. I'm sorry.
Darn it.
Was that so... Good one.
Okay. That was kind of, not ideal, but I got him up pretty high. Maybe
That's
he'll talk
not
now.
bad.
Okay. Reynold Drelis, if you please.
Raynill's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key.
Okay, what?
I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
Okay, I was about to say, why in the world are you giving me the key to his room? I mean... Wow. I entered Randall's room. I should carefully search the place for anything suspicious. Parchment, but nothing written on it. Brown shirt. Gelliborn's journal. I've discovered a small journal in Raynell's room at the inn. It seems he was part of a group of adventurers who uncovered an artifact of some sort from some Ayleid ruins. They all agreed to stash the artifact in a cave until more research could be done on it. Each of them took a key to the chest it was secured in. The two other members of the group were Braden and someone named Gelliborn. I need to find out more about Gelliborn to confirm my suspicions about Reynell. Olaf might be able to help. Okay. So they discovered an artifact, and until they decided what to do with it, they stashed it in a cave. In a apparently fancy treasure chest that required 3 keys to open. And now Raynor is going after the treasure himself and is murdering his 2 partners. And at least in this one case, claimed that his former partner was a vampire to cover it up. Gelliborn. The 8th day has passed and still there's no sign of the artifact. We've covered most of the remainder of the outer guard tower and scoured the crumbled gatehouse ruins, but not one clue has arisen to where it may have been buried. It's quiet out there, as if the ruins were paying respects to the alien inhabitants that disappeared here long ago. We haven't encountered anything hostile, but if we do, I think we're ready. The Brotherhood's been in war scrapes before. Braden paid good money for the information as to our treasure's whereabouts, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be yet another fiasco. This morning our camp was set upon by some bandits who were protecting what they claimed was their territory. Considering that we were outnumbered 3-1, we did very well. Only Raynor suffered a small wound, but that was easily healed by a potion that Braden had thoughtfully brought with him on our expedition. After getting rid of the bandits' corpses, we set out to tackle the largest part of the ruin, the remains of the great keep. 2 of the walls of the once mighty structure were collapsed, scattering the telltale whitish rock so typical of the Aelid architecture in this part of Tamriel. This made our assault on the ruin difficult, as many of the larger chunks of the wall were far too heavy for us to move. Braden suggested that we search the center of the building's foundation for any underground entrances, which was typical for this type of keep. His guess paid off, and after several hours of hard, back-breaking work, we managed to clear an opening just large enough for us to squeeze through and enter an ancient stairwell leading down into the ground. We decided to wait until morning's light to begin our descent into the depths of the ruin. After a restless sleep, all of us were quite excited at the prospect of what might lay ahead. Eagerly, we dipped our torches in a fresh container of pitch, lit them, and entered the inky blackness of the stairwell. The stale air was choked with dust and fine grit, a sign that no one had entered this portion of the ruins in a very long time. We became excited, as that meant no other tomb robbers had gotten there before us. The stairwell eventually leveled out into a corridor of sorts that snaked its way to the north. As we carefully walked along, I scanned the floor and walls very carefully for any type of triggers, tripped wires, or pressure plates. Such was my specialty. The Aelid were well known for their cunning traps protecting their tombs, and I wasn't taking any chances. Braden, the scholar of the Brotherhood, was getting more and more excited as we traversed the passage. He was translating the wall carvings and was becoming certain that we had finally found the true location of our prize. After walking for several more minutes, we were overjoyed to see what we were hoping to see. The hallway ended at a metal door with the carving of a spider upon it. Now came the true test of Braden's information. The door supposedly had a puzzle lock. By pulling the spider legs in a certain combination, it would unlatch. The wrong combination would spell our deaths, perhaps triggering a collapse of the hallway or some other equally deadly trap. With a shaky hand, I pulled the legs one by one in the order I had memorized. The 6th, then the 1st, then the 2nd, then the 8th, and finally the 1st again. I closed my eyes as there were a few loud clicks, and then the door popped open. We all breathed a sigh of relief. Pushing open the door, I looked in at a huge room with a pedestal at the center. Sitting on the pedestal, illuminated by a shaft of sunlight from a tiny hole in the ceiling, was our prize. The floor was covered in a huge mosaic of a stylized spider, all 8 of its legs coming to a point and ending up at the door entrance. This was the last of the traps the Aelids left behind to protect their treasure. Again, if it hadn't been for Braden's skill at acquiring information, we may never have known how to solve this last line of defense. I instructed Braden and Raynor to remain at the entrance and to tie a rope around my waist in case of a sudden pitfall. Carefully, I began to walk on the darkened tiles that formed the 3rd leg of the spider. Sweat beaded on my forehead as the pathway made by the tiny pieces of ceramic very tiny pieces of ceramic was very narrow at the start, and one slip could again mean instant death. But death never arrived. The information had been correct, and I was able to make it to the pedestal and secure the artifact. Quickly as possible, we made our way back out into the daylight. Once again, the Brotherhood was triumphant, and it was time to return home. At the tavern at night, we decided to make a pact. We would stash the artifact in a cave not far from Bruma until we researched it further. An item of its magnitude could be very dangerous if mishandled, and we certainly didn't want to sell it without understanding its true value. Braden agreed to contact a local cooper to construct a chest with 3 locks. Each of us would hold a key to one of the locks so none would have access to the artifact without the others being present. For the rest of the evening, we drank merrily and sang many a song of adventures past and adventures to come. Where's the Dunmer, though?
What can I do for you today?
Tell me about a man named Gelliborn.
Gelliborn? That's odd that you should mention that name. Raynal told me that he was the last vampire he hunted. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere in Skingrad, I believe. He said he tracked Gelliborn down and killed him. That's apparently why the guards trust him so readily. They had gotten word from Skingrad's City Watch about Raynal and his so-called accomplishment.
Any idea where I can find Raynal now?
And nothing else I can tell you about him. He comes and goes and doesn't talk to people much.
So now I need to go to Skingrad? What else can you tell me about Braden?
I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Raynal killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder. Just look for me if you need anything else.
Okay, The innkeeper Olaf told me that Gelliborn was slain in Skingrad by none other than Raynal. As with Braden, Raynal claimed Gelliborn was a vampire. I think Raynal is using the vampire as a cover story to get the keys to the chest where they stashed the artifact. I think it's time to speak to Carius Renelius about Raynal. He must be stopped. Carius Renelius? Is that the guard who was in Braden's house?
So, any new revelations in your, investigation?
As a matter of fact, yes.
How'd you know about that? Too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters. Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Gelliborn was killed by Raynal not too long ago. Gelliborn was a vampire as well, obviously.
Considering this journal of Gelliborn's that I'd found in Renel's room at the inn, I disagree.
What do you mean you disagree? That's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Gelliborn was not a vampire?
I do believe I just mentioned that. His journal that was in Renel's possession.
I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Raynal have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Raynal from Braden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed, and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless. I will rouse the guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olav's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
Do you have any more questions? I'm afraid I know little more.
Well, I wanted to reassure you that you were correct.
Yes. I remember Braden mentioning that name once. He was part of the Brotherhood he had created with Raynal.
Okay, you were saying before that you remembered seeing Raynal in the city but couldn't place him, and now suddenly you remember that? You should have mentioned it sooner, madam.
I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
Well, yes, it turns out you are. Reynolds not going to be in the city anymore. He shouldn't be, at least. He should be off to grab this artifact. We ought to be going after him there. Okay.
Anything else I can help with? You just let me know.
Okay, that guard apparently hasn't arrived yet.
Just look for me if you need anything else.
What is it now?
Can you spare a coin?
He said meet him in the inn? Or near... He said meet him back at Olav's Tap and Tack in an hour. But when did he say that? Oh, come on. Back to the quest. Okay, all he's saying is... All the entry says is the date, not the time.
It's you. Hi.
How goes it?
I'll be back.
That's too bad.
I've heard that Jantus Brolus is skilled with both magic and steel.
I understand he's willing to train others, but it can cost more to look for gold.
Bye.
Okay, if I wait here for an hour, will he be here?
Just before I arrived here, I received a report from one of our scouts watching the roads. Raynor was spotted heading west out of Bruma. The scout tried to follow, but lost him in the mountains. The only cave to the west that comes close to the one described in Galaborn's journal is Boreal Stone Cave. That must be where he's headed. You must get there before he acquires whatever artifact is being kept there and makes his escape. I'm keeping the city guard in Bruma, as Raynor doesn't know we're after him. If he sees a guard, he may panic and run. You're my only hope at the moment. Please, you have my authorization to do everything you can to bring him to justice. If he won't surrender, I think you know what to do. Hurry. I fear you have a day at the most to stop him.
Okay. Map marker added. All right.
Wind
Please
be
hurry.
on your back.
Raynor may make a break for the open road at any moment.
Okay, time to go stop a criminal pretending to be a vampire hunter. To the west, he said? Boreal Stone Cave. All right, then. Okay, I guess I'll have to use the north gate.
Hi there. Olav's Tap and Tack is a good, inexpensive place for travelers.
It's a fine place, and Olav treats people well.
Take care.
An armor shop? Let's see what we can find.
Skjorda, Nordwinds. We've got clothes and armor, and I've got a headache. So keep your voice down, please.
What have you got for sale?
What can I interest you in?
Only clothes.
You too.
All right, well, Let's get over to the cave and see about finding this criminal. He shall pay dearly for his blasphemy, pretending to be a hunter of unholy vermin, only to use that as a disguise for his evil ways. What's going on over there?
I want you die.
Mace of Scorching? Boy, that guy really peppered him with arrows. Look at that. Mace of Scorching. Better in every way than my flaming meteor. More physical damage, more fire damage. Not so useful against a Dunmer, unfortunately. What's up with him? That Legionnaire is acting kind of weird. Alright, not too far from our destination. This Legionnaire is really acting strange. Running around all over the place shooting at wildlife. There it is. Okay. Now then. I'm dealing with a Dunmer, so fire isn't very useful. Frost touch would be better. Come on, tell me. Tell me what the spell does. Isn't it supposed to do that? I mean, I know what the spell does, but... whatever. Oh, wait a second. Now suddenly he's telling... What? Well, whatever.
Congratulations. I had a feeling you would catch on sooner or later. Leaving that journal behind was a stupid mistake on my part. I saw you enter Olav's tap and tack before I could get there, and I knew that I had to sneak out of Bruma somehow. It was only a matter of time before you or Carius figured it out. No matter. After I've killed you, I won't need my vampire hunter ruse any longer.
I suggest instead you surrender.
Certainly not. I'm surprised Carius didn't send the entire city watch up here. But then I would have seen that coming, I suppose. I expected to lay low here for a while and then be on my way. So again, I underestimated you. This leaves me with little choice. Either I fight you now and have a chance at freedom, or I surrender and rot in a city dungeon. I prefer the chance for freedom.
Have it your way. As you wish.
Yes, I suppose it is. Well then, we've talked enough. Only one of us will walk out of here alive this day. Good luck.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death. Die! Or filth. Do your worst.
Oh, I'm doing my best here. I located Raynor in Borealstone Cave. He refused to surrender, choosing instead to attack me. I was forced to kill him to defend myself. I can now recover the artifact mentioned in Gelliborn's journal from the chest. So that's a glass greatsword. That's some impressive... Brayden's key, Gelliborn's key, Reynor's key. Okay. An entire mithril outfit, except for the helm. Still doing okay for encumbrance. Huh, the cave keeps going. Waterlogged chest. Opening the waterlogged chest with all 3 keys, I discovered the artifact to be an amulet. It seems fairly unremarkable, and I'm unsure of its function. I should bring it back to Erlin Lyrian and see what she wants me to do with it. Gills, water breathing on self. Cure poison, okay. Alright, forgot to actually pick up the claymore. Alright. That wasn't too bad. Of course, I am an absolute badass, says Geoffrey Geoffrey. He didn't have a chance against me. Mundane amulet. Apple Watch. That Legionnaire I saw running around like a madman has been kind of busy. I wonder if there's some kind of thing going on with this place. Ah. Okay, another cave. Motherwort. Have I found these things before? Motherwort sprig. What's it do? Motherwort sprig. Resist poison, damage, fatigue, silence. Silence poisons. Could be pretty effective against spellcasters. Okay. Over encumbered, of course I am. Okay, so where's the feather spell? That must be the north gate here. All right. Well, at any rate, this turned out to be far simpler than I worried. Nothing about vampires at all, just a man using that as his cover for committing murders.
Hello.
Hello. Excuse me, please.
Good day. What can I interest you in?
Unloading my junk. That's what. Okay, yeah, we're still good. Oh my goodness, look at my armor. It's almost... wow.
A good price for a good customer. You've made a good bit of gold. That seems a fair price. That's a good deal. An excellent bargain.
Yeah, I can sell the flaming meteor. I don't need it anymore.
You drive a hard bargain.
A glass claymore. That's a serious weapon. He almost didn't have enough gold to afford it. How much is he selling it for? 1,600. Wow. More than twice what he paid me for it.
That's a fair deal. Thank you for your patronage. Bye.
All right, let's do some repair because, wow, my armor is about to fall apart. Okay, used up all my hammers. How much to get you to repair my stuff?
Well met. If it's broken, I can fix it.
58G. On the other hand, if I buy
Have a look
hammers from
around.
him...
You won't find better prices in all Tamriel.
A bit more than 58G, you'll get me 4 hammers.
A bargain at any price. Tell your friends about me. Be seeing you.
Okay. All right, madam. Need to come back to your house and let you know that your husband is innocent after all. Still, the fact that she knew about this Brotherhood thing and didn't mention it before...
What news do you bring? I knew I recognized Raynal. I think when I first met Braden many years ago, he introduced me to him. They were part of some sort of brotherhood. They would roam Cyrodiil in search of legendary treasures and the like. The only reason he stopped doing that is because we got married and he wanted to settle down. I'm afraid thanks to Raynal, that time is lost.
Well, this is what Raynal was after.
Long ago, I made a promise to Braden. I promised to never reveal to anyone what I'm about to reveal to you now. However, because you've avenged his unjust death, I feel that Braden would understand why I'm breaking that pact. Braden told me about this amulet when they first brought it home from whatever distant land it came from. He never really trusted anyone else in the group, and before he secured the treasure in that cave, he had a special enchantment placed upon it. The magic masks the true identity of the item. All it takes is a simple command word, and the amulet would be restored to its true state.
Why didn't you ever mention any of this? It could have solved the mystery. Okay, I have to assume that she was just distraught with grief to suddenly have her husband dead like that. And she wasn't thinking clearly. That's the only thing I can figure. This command word. Did Braden take it to his grave, or did he tell it to you?
No. He always feared this day would come. He left me knowledge of that word in the event that he died, and I came into possession of the keys. The other members of Braden's group were still alive, and I on my deathbed. Only then would I pass the knowledge on to them. If you'd give me that amulet, I would like to show you what you've recovered.
I hope she's not about to betray me. Certainly, here it is.
Thank you. I will now speak the word Brotherhood. Here is the amulet back. It's as beautiful as it was the day I remember seeing it long ago. I want you to keep it, as I have no use for this anymore. I'm certain that's what I want, and I'm certain that's what Braden would want. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope that the amulet helps keep you safe on whatever roads you may travel.
Phylactery of litheness.
I'm glad he's dead. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but I think you understand.
I certainly do. Though I must admit he died a good death, with his sword in his hand. So, he might have been an evil man, but he wasn't a coward. Well, good day to you, madam. I hope that you find happiness. May the 8 and the 1 bless you.
Justice has been done.
Wonder if I should find that man in the guard and let him know. Is he still at the pub?
What's your
Look at
story?
the muscles
What's going on with
you?
I've heard that the Nords of Skyrim have been warring with the Redoran of Morrowind.
Yes? Although we can't go back and undo what's been done, I feel justice has been served, and Braden's soul may rest with ease. You did what had to be done. There should be no regrets or doubts in your mind about it. Raynor was an evil Dunmer, and he deserved that fate.
Indeed.
In your absence, I dispatched a runner to Skingrad to let them know they need to clear Gelabon's name for the record books. Like Braden, I think he deserves to have his name clear of wrongdoing.
Then it appears this matter is all over. I take my leave then.
Have you ever considered a job in law enforcement?
Sarcastic jackass, but... Well, Geoffrey wouldn't be opposed to that as long as he felt he could actually be respected in the role. He's not too sure of that, though. Well then. This has been quite the adventure. Let's have a good night's sleep. And recover from our weariness. Cheese sandwich. Let's have a cheese sandwich first. Okay. Let's just sleep the whole night away. You have ascended to level 13. It's the most amazing thing. Yesterday it was hard, and today it's easy. Just a good night's sleep, and yesterday's mysteries are today's masteries. All right. Well, I do believe our time in Bruma is done. It's about time to head on to Coral.
Good morning.
Geoffrey's not
Have pity on an old
particularly looking forward to that. But that's where the pilgrimage takes him next. However, he does have an excuse to put that off a little bit longer, because that has been catching his eye for a while now, and he wants to know what it is. So, viewers, thank you very much for watching Let's Play Oblivion Remastered. In the next episode, we're going up the mountain to see what that is. And if time permits, afterward, we shall hit the road for Coral. See you then.